How does an entire church prepare spiritually? And here's what I want you to know. When we prepare personally or individually, we prepare collectively. And if you aren't prepared, we're not prepared. And so this is where I'm inviting you to personally lean in and begin to ask God, what does it look like for me to prepare myself spiritually for what you have next? And now we're going to get real practical, because I want to suggest 3 ways or 3 prayers that will help us prepare ourselves spiritually and to lean on God's power. The first thing we must do is simply start. Let me give you some examples. There's some things we need to start in our lives. Individually, there are some things we've got to start doing. And I just want to tell you, it begins with prayer. No prayer, no power. And I don't know where you are in your prayer life. Maybe you pray occasionally. I just want to encourage you, whatever you currently do, now is the time, church, to increase it a little bit. If you pray occasionally, would you begin to pray regularly? If you already pray regularly, would you increase it a little bit? Would you turn that up a little bit? Would you just, wherever you are, take a step forward? Because we need the power of God in this next season. And we're told over and over that it comes through prayer. In fact, it's in Mark 9:29, when there had been several of the disciples who were trying to cast out a demon out of a young man, that they couldn't, and they finally came to Jesus, and then he was successful. And they said, why couldn't we do that? And Jesus said, some of these miracles, they only come through prayer. And some translations say some of these miracles are the kind that only come through prayer and fasting. No prayer, no power. We want God's power. Maybe for you, what we need to start doing individually is just increase our prayer. Sort of take some steps forward. And others, is to grow your own relationship with God. Maybe it's in Scripture. Maybe it's in relationships. Maybe it's in joining a small group this fall. But in some way, take a step forward in your own relationship with God. I don't want to prescribe what you can do, because I know God will reveal to you what He wants you to do. But what I also don't want to do is just move on to the next thing. We want to do something a little bit different and just give you a moment. Because we want you to ask God, if I'm going to consecrate myself, if I'm going to prepare myself spiritually, is there something you want me to start? And so Ryan's going to sing a song, and as he does, you've got those cards, and on those cards there is a question. And it begins with the first question. It says, what do I need to start? And what I would ask you to do is make that your prayer over the next few seconds. And whatever, often God will just give you something immediately, just top of mind, that just comes to you as He kind of impresses on you what that is. Would you just write that down? This is for you. And ask Him this question. God, in this next season for our church, what do I need to start? Would you make that your prayer?
I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. Have decided to follow Jesus. No turning.